very much. So nutrition is definitely my life. I'm here with Rain Clinical Nutrition today, so I'm really excited about the opportunity to talk about how nutrition can impact the human-animal bond and how that in turn can impact client compliance. I want to start out talking a bit about that human-animal bond. I want you to think about a person in your life that you love, your spouse or partner, a friend, family. Think about what your life would be like now, this is a bit tough, if that person was gone. How would you feel? Alone, devastated, heartbroken, because that's a very strong bond. And the bond we have with our pets is the same. The human-human bond, the human-animal bond, it's the same depth. That picture is a picture of my husband Brad and his dog Kimmy. And I say his dog as much as I love Kimmy, because she's very much his. Kimmy and Brad were together a long time before I was in the scene. And they've gone through a lot of experiences together. And if Brad were in this horrible position where we were drowning and he could save one of us, he and Kimmy would really miss me. That is a really strong bond. Now I want you to think about your pet, or in my case, pets. Because my husband and I both had dogs when we met. He had girls and I had boys, so it's like the Brady Bunch, but with dogs. So we have this blended family. Just looking at a picture of my dogs makes me smile. Just thinking about them makes me happy because that human-animal bond is incredibly strong. And why is that important? Well, people with a strong human-animal bond seek out a very high standard of care for their pets. They want the best because their pets are their family. They care about them and they want the best food and they want the best medicine. They want to take great care of them. And that's important to us because we're in an industry where we are competing for their discretionary income. So if it's not important to them, they're not going to come in. They're not going to pay attention. When I started in the veterinary industry, most of our patients were outdoor dogs or outdoor cats. And these were good owners. They were at the clinic. They wanted to take good care of their pets. But their pet was very separate from their family. It was very much different than the family. Now, we live in a really cool pet-loving country. More than half of Canadians have a dog or a cat, which is huge numbers in a country that doesn't have all that many people. But much more than that, Canadians overwhelmingly see their pets as part of the family. More than 87% of Canadians say their pet is their family member or the infant in the family, even more than being part of the family. Isn't that cool? What a great opportunity when we've got people where this is their family and they are trusting you with the care of their pet. That is a really big responsibility. You're the pediatrician, not the veterinary team. That is a whole different responsibility. We've seen pets move from the backyard to the back porch to our beds, and more that's what we're seeing walk through the doors, and that's great because they want the best thing for their pet. This is a huge opportunity. It's also frustrating sometimes because we also have owners who really want to be involved in the care of their pet. They're not coming in and they get your recommendation, they follow it, they don't follow it. They want to be part of this. This is participatory. They come in with a lot of information. Sometimes it's good information, sometimes it's not as good, but they've done a lot of research, good or bad, that's a strong word, and they want the best for their pet, but much more than that, they want to be involved in those decisions. And nutrition is a big part of that because you will often have owners walk through your doors who have a very strong philosophy about nutrition. They're feeding themselves, they're feeding the rest of their family, they're making nutritional decisions all the time, so they have strong opinions. It's unlikely that you'll have an owner argue with you about your surgical approach or your choice of antibiotics. It's not impossible. It might happen, but it's not likely. But you will have a lot of owners walk through your doors who feel very strongly about nutrition and are looking for something specific and want to talk about it and want to be part of making that decision. And we've seen nutrition change for people and for pets. I mean, ultimately we need the nutrients that we need, for sure. But we're starting to learn more and more about how it matters where we're getting those nutrients, that we should maybe not be taking vitamins, but eating properly. You can't go online or open a magazine or read a newspaper without reading something about nutrition. It's a big topic, something you should be eating or something you shouldn't be eating, and maybe it contradicts what you heard last week. Your owners are reading the same information, they're accessing the same information, and they're looking for the same philosophy and approach that they're looking for themselves and the rest of their family, for their pets as well. And absolutely they should be coming to you. You are the experts. They should be coming to you for their nutritional recommendation. You have knowledge of the fundamentals of nutrition, of the needs of dogs and cats, but I think actually most importantly, you have knowledge of that individual patient. You have their entire medical history, you understand their breed predispositions, you know the other pets living in the household, you know the owner's preference. That sort of wealth of information, this vast amount of knowledge you have about that individual dog or cat means that you have the best recommendation. So when owners aren't coming to you for their nutrition, their pet is missing out. And unfortunately, more and more owners are going somewhere else. More than 50% of Canadians are buying their pet food at a retail store, at a pet store. That is huge, and it's way more than it used to be. And every time they're not coming in and talking to you, their pet is missing out on your recommendation. But even more than that, they're just missing out on all of your knowledge. Every time an owner comes through your doors, they become a bit of a better pet owner. They learn a bit more about caring for their pet, whether it's something they read in a display or a conversation they have with your team or overhearing another conversation. They become a bit of a better owner and ultimately take better care of their pet, which is why we're all here, is to take care of these pets the best we can. And nutrition is a huge opportunity for that. Instead of seeing your owners once or twice a year, we'll maybe see them 10 times a year when they come and pick up their regular pet food and have 10 interactions and 10 opportunities for them to ask you their questions instead of asking somebody at a retail store. So ultimately, we all want the same thing that I want for my beloved, nearly 16-year-old standard poodle, Charlie. We want to take care of our pets the very best we can, and the owners in your exam rooms want the exact same thing as you. They want the very best care for their beloved family members, but when we're not seeing them, we're missing out on those opportunities. So we need to be able to work with owners and understand what they're looking for and what's important to them. Because if they walk into your practice and they have a very strong philosophy about nutrition and they believe that maybe they don't want to feed corn or maybe they don't want to feed byproducts, and you're kind of internally rolling your eyes thinking, is this marketing or is this science? Ultimately, it doesn't really matter, because ultimately that owner believes in that extremely strongly. And if they aren't having a good discussion with you, if they aren't being involved in that discussion about what to feed their pet, they're going to go somewhere else. Maybe they'll just go somewhere else to get their pet food and they'll continue to be a great, loyal client. Or maybe they'll go down the street to another veterinary hospital, because there are a lot of practice options out there. And often your best owners, your owners who are doing the best for their pet and following all the rest of your recommendations, are the ones that have a really strong philosophy about nutrition, because they're just really engaged owners. They're the ones who are willing to go out of their way, make a special trip to get pet food instead of picking it up at the grocery store as an afterthought. But they're also the ones doing research. They're also the ones who are coming in with a lot of knowledge, maybe some questionable research as well, but with a very strong opinion. So I think we have a huge opportunity with nutrition, but we also have a huge opportunity to respect that human-animal bond, to involve the owner in the decision-making process, to listen to what they're looking for, and work together to come up with a solution that you're going to feel great about for their pet, that they're going to feel great about, most importantly, that the pet's going to do extremely well on, and really build that compliance, build that bond to your practice as well. Thanks.